Hello. Right. Tonight. We're working on the 55 Ford Customline. Don't know if anyone can remember. We done a clip, one of the first videos. We went to the Australian Street Rod Nationals. I just got it going, and it's so fucking low on the ground. Pretty much scraped the transmission pan for about 4 hours on our drive. It wasn't that bad, but whenever we got over some bumps, it scratched the shit out of it. So when we got back, we just got back, and there was a pool of transmission fluid under it. Since then, I've dodged it up. I mean, I really dodged it up. I Celasticed it up just to be able to move it in and out of the shed. And then I did take it on a couple of short 15-minute drives just because I couldn't help myself. But this is what we're working with now. Okay, so she's Celastic right up. It pretty much pushed in. I'm pretty sure it was up the front here. It ground it all out, and yeah, made a real mess of it. So I got there, and whatever I had, RTV silicone or something like that. You can sort of see it there, where the crack is as well. I think that's it anyway. There's something that might be running from back here, but yeah, she copped a bit of a hiding. So it started leaking. I've dodged it up. Now I've really got to do something about it, because we're going on probably a 2-hour drive for the Salts this weekend for his birthday down at Southport. So we've got probably a couple of hours of driving. We're staying the night down there, getting drunk, all right, and coming back the next day. So I've really got to make sure I've got to fix this, but also too, I don't want to put another deep pan on it, because it's just going to do the same thing. So I've ordered, and I've got an RTS pan to suit, a gasket, and they come with the bolts, and for some weird reason it comes with nuts as well. Don't ask me why, because the threads in the transmission casing. So I'll probably just use the original bolts. So look, it's going to be, other than this rambling on, it's going to be a pretty quick video. I say that, but we don't really know what happens. We know how these things go. So the biggest issue I've got is this transmission pan. This transmission pan has the dipstick come down and go in the side, like so. So we originally, when the motor and transmission was built, we drilled the side of that and put that and mounted that there like that. I think it was a Locker branded dipstick. So the issue I've got now is the new pan is a lot thinner, a lot thinner, a lot narrower. No, it's not narrower either. It's less deeper. It's shallower. That's it. So you can tell the difference. I'm not going to have any problems with that. But this thing here, I've got a feeling I'm not going to be able to. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit it in, maybe right up the end here. The other thing is, I can't remember if the pickup on this was extended or anything like that. So I'm going to drain it. I'm going to pull it off, I'm going to have a look at it. Hopefully I don't have to do too much mucking around to be able to put this sucker on there, and hopefully I can get all this to fit. Anyway, we'll enough talking, let's get into it. So I'm going to try my new oil drain pan. Allows you to put the oil in it and reuse it. This oil that I put in it was after I sort of fixed it up, so it's brand new oil, so I'm going to try and reuse it. I wonder how good the aim's going to be. I wonder how much fucking oil I'm going to get covered in. Now, I wouldn't normally let this splash, I'd be holding that up, but I can't hold the camera and film. So here we go. Oh, that's all right. There we go. Didn't make too much of a mess. Just fucking noticed something. This pan, it doesn't have a drain plug in it. What do you reckon, Rex? Yeah, okay. That's fucking weird too, isn't it? I'm kind of starting to think now, how much effort is this going to be? This should have been pretty simple, and it's just getting harder and harder. Okay, let's say she's empty enough. I'll chuck that bung back in just so we don't have too much more of a mess. We'll undo this side bit here, then we can just pull the pan off, and I'm going to be able to check if that pickups to, if it's longer. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I need to get it going. I've only got a couple of days. Alright, so I've just undone the dipstick tube, and that's out of there. Now we can pretty much start to undo the pan. Tell you what, there's still a fair bit left in there, eh? You wouldn't think so. What the fuck? What? I thought I could hear something when I took it off. I mean, what the fuck? Like, it can't really, like, I don't think it can really do too much. I'm just emptying this out. I'm just trying to get over the fact that there was a loose bolt in there. I can't really a loose bolt floating around in there is, I mean, obviously not great, but I don't think you can do too much because it's got to go up through the filter. And it can't, but I mean, rattling around in there, you don't know. It's funny actually, because the last time, like a day or a couple of days ago, when I started this up, when I was getting it ready, I did actually hear something in there. I didn't hear anything. I can't say I heard it in the transmission, but I did hear a little bit of a different noise, like rattling around. So maybe it's just come loose, I'm hoping. But also too, yeah, let's have a look here. Ah, okay, it's out of the filter. Now let's have a closer look. This, I don't know if it's been, I mean, it literally couldn't have been out for too long. The car's only done maybe 1,000 Ks since, yeah, maybe a little bit more. It must have just come out, because as I say, I did hear something, and it was after the pan had been, after I knew the pan was leaking, so I sort of heard this little bit of a rattle in it the last time I sort of got it out, and I thought, oh, I won't go anywhere in case the oil's starting to drain out of it. But knowing me, I checked the oil and there was nothing wrong, and I thought, oh well, don't know, maybe it's just something hitting on something. So there you go, eh? Well, the oil pan getting smashed in might have been a bit of a blessing in disguise. I'm just checking out this bolt to see if it looks like it's been rolling around for a long time or not. Whew. So, it looks like it couldn't, I wonder. Yeah, I don't think it's been able to drop out the whole way until I've pulled the pan off. So it's been sitting there. I'll do some measurements, but yeah, I can see the wear is about there on the bolt, and it looks like it may have just sat there, been wobbling around. And if you look up inside there, you can kind of see it, that it has been sitting there a little bit. And then I've pulled the pan off, and that's allowed it to drop down. Well, fuck. I didn't think that'd go on. Well, let's whack that back up in there. Must have been a Friday job. I'll tighten that up properly in a second. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm just going to have a look at this pan and see if which end's which. It would have been rattling on this end, if anything. Oh, maybe light. All right, I've I've tightened up that bolt. I've given up. I'm not going to waste any time trying to work out what's happened, if it's been just half hanging out or it's been rolling around in the pan. I'm just going to say it's been rolling around the pan, get it over and done with, move on. Let's start looking at getting this new pan, seeing if it's going to fit, and then let's see if we can get this dipstick line to fit as well. What do you know? It's hitting on something. The fuck is that hitting on? Fucking oil filter. Fuck. Yeah. I knew it wasn't going to be that fucking easy. Never is. Right, plan B. I don't have a plan B yet, but I either put another type of filter on there, and I'm not sure if you can see, this is a like, I don't know if you'd say a custom box. It's just, I don't know if things get bigger, we change it to a manual valve body. I don't think it does. I don't think it change anything, but maybe we put a high flow transmission filter on it, and that's what that is. I'm not sure. I can't remember. It was fucking that long ago when we done it. So I've got to work out whether I look at another filter. I don't know if that's a great idea, or I try and get another deep pan before the weekend. Even like a mid pan. I don't know if they even make them, but there's an obvious height difference there. If there's one halfway in between, well, I guess I better try and find that. All right, we'll see where we go from here. Right, okay. It has been about 3 weeks to a month, and I've finally got the new pan. Okay, so check this out. I've got 3 different pans now. Well, I haven't. Yes, I do. I've got 3 different pans, but one was the original one. Okay, so this is the one that they sent me first off. Okay, so that was my fault. I just got a standard pan, didn't realise. This here is the new one that I've just got. Okay, so a bit wider, and this is the one that's off it. So I'm not going to put that right on its side because it's got oil in it, but you can see the difference. So this is, I'm hoping, is going to be just perfect. They call this a deep pan, but there's no way it's as deep as that one. But I've got a feeling, hopefully it's that happy medium. So I'm just about to test fit this. Oh, which one was it? That one. And just see if it's going to clear. As you remember, we had the problem with the filter being too deep. Now I think it goes. Oh wait, there, I've got that ass around. It goes like that. So that is clearing fine. All right, so that's actually the perfect size. It's not too shallow where I can't clear the filter, but it's also not too deep that I'm going to be scraping the shit out of it. So that's a massive improvement. All right, so that's what we're using. Oh, can't wait to get this thing back on the road. Now, what we've got to do with these pans is we've got to drill it out. We've got to drill the new one out, put this in it, and then we'll be able to bolt it back up in there and hopefully get that transmission fluid back in it and give it a bit of a drive. I just checked the inside of this quickly and I was making sure that the filter had a bit of clearance, so it wasn't just sucking to the bottom of the pan, so it looks like it hasn't been touching or anything. So that's one good thing. All right, try and get this out now. Going to remove that, hole saw our new hole in there, clean it out, bolt it up, ready to go. All right, we've got some, we're about to put this back in the new hole. Got some Permatex Ultra Black gasket maker, oil resistant. Now, there's going to be plenty of mechanics out there that say stuff shouldn't go back together if you've got to use Celastic and all sorts of shit. Look, every time I've done it without Celastic, I've had problems, so it's a bit of a fail-safe. The reason why Celastic's not good on gaskets and all that sort of stuff is it can slide them out the way. Like, this is just my opinion on it. I'm not too sure why mechanics and that don't like using it. I know there's plenty that do use it, but just a light skim I found's all right. If you put a heap of it on a gasket and then try and tighten it up to the proper torque specs, it just makes the gasket slippery and sometimes they slide out of the way, and that's my take on it. That's what's happened to me before in the early years. So, you know, I used to put it all over everything, but now I've worked out, look, just a little bit of it, a little skim, and if you're aware of that, you can't really go wrong. If you're aware of it when you're tightening it up, it pushing out the sides, keep an eye on the gasket, it should be okay. In this sort of situation where the gasket, it can't go anywhere, it's not a gasket, it's just some sort of nylon seal, but in this sort of situation it can't go anywhere. There's a thread. Look, I like to have a bit of it on there, and it just stops it from getting out anywhere, and this doesn't do anything. Where you can, you don't want to get a lot of it inside the oil pan, whether that's with a motor or whatever. If it comes off, it can clog things up. So on the outside and a little bit on the inside, look, we're going to get a little bit through there, more than likely. That's all right, in my opinion. Not in a qualified mechanic's opinion. All right, so, and make sure there's no oil on anything. It doesn't like to stick to it. as you can see, I like to use it sparingly. I don't give a rat's ass what it looks like. I just hate it when things leak. And the more you can do to stop that, so you know that'll seal up the back. You can clean it all up, you know, as well, if you've really got to. And I'm going to put some around the other side of this where the gap will be between that and the plate. And as I say, look, you don't worry about it. I've never really worried about it too much. You can clean it up a bit, and if you want to, if you're getting under your car, if you've got a show car, obviously you're not going to do this where you've got mirrors under. But for your drivers, it should be fine. It'd be awkward if it leaks now, hey? So I'll get a little bit of this stuff squeezing through on the inside when I tighten this right up. I'm going to definitely wipe it off the inside as best I can. So, don't know if you can see that, got a little bit in there. I just run my finger around that, make a nice mess, and then I'm going to clean it up. And what I'm kind of doing as well is I'm pushing it into any gaps that'd be there at the same time, and then I can just go along and just clean it up, because I know I've pushed it in as best as I can. All right, so that's it on there. Doesn't look crazy pretty, but it'll do the job. And that's it. Let's put it back under this car. All right, little pet hate of mine. All right, they give you a bunch of bolts and they give the same matching amount of nuts. You don't use nuts to put the pan on. They've got their own thread. I was looking at them, and compared to the originals, they're like, if I can show you. Okay, these are the ones they give you in the box, and that's the ones I've pulled out of it. So it's like half the length. Okay, so it's all good. I've got original bolts to put back in it. Crisis diverted, all good. The reason it's a problem though is because if I didn't, that's the most these will go up in there. So as you can tell, they're pretty much half a bolt too long. And why they give you nuts with them, I don't know. Maybe they give you the nuts so you can cut them down. But yeah, anyway, I don't know who thinks up this sort of stuff. I mean, if they're for something else, I can't work out what the right number to put the pan back under there. So anyway, looks like I'll chuck the Rigididge bolts back in it and go from there. All right, so I'm ready to chuck this on. I'm not gonna put any sealant around this. I really want to, but I'm going to give it a go without it. a lot of the time, honestly, you don't need to, but if you're having problems with it, like if you keep having problems with something like that, then yeah, definitely put a bit of sealant over it, a bit of elastic, whatever. It helps in them situations. But when everything's new, you shouldn't really need to. What I will do though is I'll chuck a little bit of elastic on each of the bolts, and when I tighten them up, it helps them not rattle loose. That's something I've always done, especially with stuff like this. Always try and get a couple of bolts in there to hold it. Keeps the gasket in place. If not, you'll put your bolts up through there, start tightening things, and you find that your gasket's slid over or something like that, and you're not doing it up at all. I don't know if it's only me, but fucking everything you do, the socket, because of this shoulder that's coming over here, if you have a look, it hits on that, and you can't fucking screw up the head of the bolt. So we've reduced it back, yeah, and that little one gets up in there just right. That one's got to come out of it. Now I'm only just oh, what's going on? My light just blown. Yeah. I'm only just quickly nipping these up. It's a good idea always to go opposite side. You know, you don't want to just go around it in a circular motion, and just change where you're doing it up. At the moment I'm only just getting it to take up on the gasket, so it's not too big a drama. Yeah, it doesn't love a socket being in there. It's pretty hard to actually get it in there. Anyway, okay, so now these are meant to have a torque setting, right? I don't have a fucking clue what it is. I've done, probably not toot my own horn, all right, but I've probably done enough work on this sort of stuff. It's definitely going to fail now. I've said this to sort of, I have a pretty good feel for it. But if you are doing it and you're not too sure about that, then definitely use manufacturer's specifications. That was a tongue twister. All right, so you know, I'm pretty confident that I can get it roughly to where it needs to be. But as I say, if you're not too sure, then if you're not too sure, then definitely use, even if you are sure, you should be using the proper specs, tightening things to the proper specs, not like me. But I'm not a mechanic and I don't think you should take any advice that I give out anywhere, ever. All right, also my own personal torque specs. All right, all bolted up. Yeah, as I've said a million times, they've got a proper torque spec, and they should have a proper tightening sequence, you know, diagonal, opposite, all the way, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the rest of it. Google that shit before you do it, and it will save you a lot of headaches that I will probably have in the future. All right, I'm going to try and get this thing down and we'll get some oil in it. Just got to move the chop out the way. Yeah, I couldn't help it. I had to get that on camera. It's got to be on there somewhere. Okay, night 600. All right, finally back at it again. It's probably been a week. Got a bit sidetracked with other things. Let's get this thing down without crushing bikes either. Got to always check this, just in case one of the kids has been in here and moved a bike or something. I think we're right. Right, this is my little 347 Windsor, 302 Windsor stroked out to a 347. Nitrous, haven't run it on nitrous yet, haven't really needed to, but also too I've just been lazy and trying to get it all set up. There's not really much to do except run some lines and a little bit of wiring. But you know how it goes at the moment. I'm just getting this thing out there and trying to enjoy it. All right, so we've got to get this transmission dipstick, if I can reach it. Hold on. Pull that out. Weird as it's got no oil. Oh, that's right, it's all in there. Okay. Now, normally I'd never reuse transmission oil, but in this case I'm going to. It is pretty much like brand new. So I'm just going to put that stuff back in it. And I also noticed too the other week when I was looking at this, I either had a bolt coming out of the header or I lost a bolt somewhere. And I don't think I fixed it, but I might have. It was on me things to do. Oh yeah, there it is there. You probably can't see that, but yeah, there's a loose one down in there. And I heard it starting to come into it. Yep, that's it. These are an absolute pain in the ass to get to. Alright, we'll come back to that. Let's try and work out how we're going to get this oil in without spilling it everywhere. Alright, I got the locker filler. These come, I'm pretty sure it's a locker. I'm pretty sure it's a locker dipstick tube, but it actually come with this when I got it, and I always kept it. It slides into your dipstick tube and allows for easy filling of the transmission. and it saves a whole lot of mucking around because it just holds itself there. So, like that, and you know, you don't really need a second person giving you a hand holding the funnel while you're trying to spill your transmission oil everywhere, which I'll show you how to do that in a second. I've never tried to fill up I've never tried to fill up a transmission with one of these reusable containers. I'm hoping it's easier than it looks. Oh, this looks like it's going to be a fucking mess. Oh, shit. Okay. Fucking done. I don't think it's too late to, you know, wake up the neighbourhood. Surely not. Fuck's that on my roof? Somehow oil's got on my roof and I can't really think of when or how. Oh, that's not great. It's really not great. Oh. What in the... It's actually sort of streaked backwards, so it's been on here since it was last driven, which is even weirder. But anyway, I'll just give it a quick clean up for tonight. And I think I had this parked under the coupe. That's the only thing I can really think of, like ages ago. But why I wouldn't have picked up on the roof having this all over it, that's a different story. Well, at least the roof won't rust, I guess. All right, not the best footage. I don't even know what time it is. I think it's about 8:30 at night. So just quickly going to take it for a run, make sure everything's working all right, and pretty much bring it back, make sure nothing's really leaking, and go from there. I never realised how hard it was to find a lit up place without people. Fuck, I don't really know about that shit on me roof. I noticed there was a little bit of a, it looked like kind of like a bubble type thing. I just hope it's a fucking bug or something else. But anyway, I'll do a little bit of investigation on that another day. Alright, let's have a look. I can't see much. Well, I don't think it's leaking, but time will tell. Oh no, it's not good. Just got back and look, it's leaking. You know why? Do you know why? The sump plug was loose. Alright, so when you get a new pan, always check that the sump plug is done up tight. Now I'm wrapping it up. I just found the smallest shifter I had. And nip her up, and hopefully that'll do it, eh? I tell you, I haven't been caught with that one before. All right, that's it. Now I'm wrapping it up. Bye everybody. Yeah, bye everybody. Remember, like and no.